Coach Miller, and welcome to All Marine Fighter. With the big win for Anthony Joshua on Saturday over Robert Helenius, then the question would be, what's next? Everybody's saying, Deontay Wilder. And you know what? Supposedly, that deal is being made for either December or January. I gotta say, I like that fight. And before people went to the comments or make statements and saying, well, this fight's too late, it should have been. Well, yeah, theoretically, it could have been done. We could have had an undisputed champion a couple years ago now. Well, it's been several years now. We could have had an undisputed heavyweight champion already had they fought. But would it have been a great fight? Now, that's a different question, because I do believe that both fighters have gotten better since then. So I think that this will make for a very great fight. Now, I'll get a few reasons why I believe that. First, when Anthony Joshua still had his O on his record and he didn't have a loss, he really took on this prima donna type of attitude. And just, don't get me wrong, Anthony Joshua, I like him. He's talented. He's a crisp, technique-oriented boxer. I really like that, okay? I really like that. But from the opposite side, Deontay Wilder, he is every bit of unorthodox when it comes to boxing. And I think that's why we're so enamored with him as boxing fans, because it's like, how does this guy with legs that are like that round, okay, generate power that's devastating guys that are 260, 270, just knocking people clean out. I mean, all he has to do is just touch you and your lights go out. I mean, that's unbelievable. I mean, wow. He's definitely going to go down as one of the boxing greats, because it's been said by other commentators, like, there's not been a fighter before where, all you have to do is touch somebody, and people are so afraid of that, right? There's been very few fighters in history that have even had that kind of stigma. And Deontay Wilder is one of them. But that being said, when Anthony Joshua still had his O, he fought more to protect that O than he did actually fight. Now, when he was coming up the ladder and starting to collect belts and things like that, you could see that he was hungry, willing to get after the fighters and put them down and out. But there came a point at which you could see the fire started to wane a little bit inside. And how he went after, it was more about just, let me just keep my belts instead of going after and dominating. And that happens with us who fight or in combat sports. If you're in it for any given amount of time, you do this training every single day, that fire can start to wane a little bit. It wanes on the best of us and the best of fighters. And I think that's probably what made, say, Floyd Mayweather so great. Not only his immaculate record, but the guy had a training regime and a fire that burned for that 50-0. I mean, that's hard to keep your fire going inside as a fighter, okay? And I fought for a long time. There was a point where I had it dim for a bit and it got, reignited, sort of say. But it's really hard for year after year to keep doing the same thing, the same regime, training regimes, that type of thing, and even if you're mixing it up. And so what happened to Anthony Joshua is no different, because it happened to Deontay Wilder too. Deontay Wilder, before he fought Tyson Fury, was flirting with that. I mean, the second bout with Luis Ortiz, he was arguably losing on the cards, and it had not been for that late knockout, he could have lost that fight. You could see that he wasn't throwing punches as crazy anymore, or really just getting after fighters. He was just kind of too chill, just hoping for that one shot. Now, don't get me wrong. If that guy touches you, you're going out. Sometimes, if you wait too long, that shot never comes. When Anthony Joshua got his first loss to Andy Ruiz, that was one of the best things that could happen to him, because his attitude changed after that. Attitude completely changed. Now, you could say, well, he didn't really want to go toe-to-toe, and he ended up developing kind of being gun-shy a little bit, and that's true. I think the getting knocked out and then also getting beat by Usyk too kind of, hurt his ego a little bit. But I got to say that his attitude is definitely different. Now he's willing to fight anybody now compared to having this kind of prima donna attitude before. So that being said, both Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua having Robert Helenius as a common opponent, sure, Wilder, all you got to do is touch somebody and put them out. Wilder put Helenius out in the first round. Joshua put him out several rounds later. But the thing about it is though that, Joshua should have put him away sooner. It's just that you could see there was some confidence building that took place. And so I think that really helped build some confidence in him that, hey, I can do this. And I think that helped prime the fight for Joshua and Wilder for coming hopefully within in January timeframe. Now, like I said, I like Joshua as a fighter. I think he's a superb boxer, okay? But you know what? He represents the UK in a way. And, hey, I like Wilder because he's a homegrown American fighter, okay? So I'm pulling for Wilder. I tend to be more of a Wilder fan. I think that Wilder will beat Joshua. And like I said, all he's got to do is touch Joshua and he's going out. Because Joshua can tend to be a little chinny, okay? So that's been demonstrated several times by different fighters too, by the way. All through his career, actually. So if Wilder touches him, he's going out. But that's not to say that Joshua can't potentially win that fight. Because if Wilder doesn't bring his A game, the blueprint to beat Wilder was already laid by Tyson Fury. Now, don't get me wrong. Tyson Fury is an unbelievable fighter. The only guy to actually get up like he was risen from the dead from Deontay Wilder's shot, okay? Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Especially that first fight. But even, of course, the second one was the beatdown of Wilder. Wilder didn't see that coming, so we won't even count that one. But the third one, wow. Fury gets knocked down twice. How many dudes actually get up from that shot? And you could see that he was like all dizzy and stuff. He's a big guy. So, anyways, that was amazing. But all I'm saying is that the blueprint was still laid. That if you pressure him enough and you cut the distance, if you sit at the end of Wilder's punches, he's going to put you out, okay? So you have to close the distance. You have to. Don't allow him to do that and keep you at the end of his punches. But then again, there's a fine balance that takes place with that because that's what Robert Helenius tried to do, and he got caught coming in. So, man, I'll tell you what, I don't envy Anthony Joshua. I sometimes imagine, like, man, what would it be like to actually catch mitts for Deontay Wilder? I would love to be able to feel that power, right? Just to be able, because I coach and I train people, that type of thing, and I catch mitts. I don't want to take that punch, okay? I'm not trying to get the soul knocked out of my body, okay? But just to catch mitts for a while, just to feel what kind of power that boy is throwing, man. Oh, like, wow, is it really real? It's like this mythical Hercules kind of power, man. It's unbelievable. But that being said, Anthony Joshua does have the potential to actually beat Wilder. So Wilder's going to have to bring his A game when that fight comes. And I think the build-up to that fight is going to be amazing. It might actually be one of Wilder's final fights. He's not looking to fight that much longer. So I guess we'll see what happens. So what's going to happen from here? Man, I'm going to really look forward to the build-up for that fight. And I hope that egos don't get in the way. And I think it might tend to be a little bit more with Eddie Hearn on this one. So hopefully Eddie doesn't blow this. Eddie, please do not blow this. Get this fight made, okay? Deontay Wilder has more than proven that he's a pay-per-view seller. So is Anthony Joshua. And you know what? Wouldn't that be something? Maybe they can make the fight in the UK, because Wilder's always been wanting to fight in the UK. Maybe that's something that could happen. But then again, hey, the money is actually in Vegas. So it would be very interesting how that deal is going to play out. But I really want to see that fight. They're talking about putting that fight in Saudi Arabia. I mean, well, Saudi's got all the money. So, hey, follow the money, right? Either way, I'm super excited for that fight. How about you? Why don't you tell me in the comments what you think about this fight? Tell me who you think is going to win. And you know what? Hey, we all like our favorite fighters, but try to be unbiased. Tell me the reason why you think that fighter is going to win, okay? And don't just fanboy it up. We got enough fanboys running around, right? But tell me what's going to happen. And who do you think is going to win the fight, of course? If you like these videos, man, go ahead and hit that like button, because guess what? We got all sorts of content coming out. Please hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and stay tuned next time. Until then, stay motivated.